Robert Kraft is finally caving. He's finally doing it. And the Patriots are going to put Bill Parcells in their team Hall of Fame. It was announced Tuesday morning. Classic Kraft, April 1st. Like, no, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Bill Parcells is finally going in. This is long, long overdue. And we'll get to the beef they had in a minute, but let me start by saying this. Robert Kraft owes everything he has in the NFL to Bill Parcells. Because we can look back at the story is, the Patriots franchise, dead in the water, it was going to move, then Kraft buys the team, and then Bill Belichick leads him to the greatest dynasty of all time. But we skip a step in there. Because Bill Parcells, coming out of retirement to coach the Patriots, the lowly Patriots, is the saving grace for this franchise. It is the greatest thing that happened to him. Because, Belichick's obviously the greatest coach of all time, and Brady's the greatest player, and both those things are right up there, but they don't happen without Bill Parcells. That's why that's number one. Because when Parcells came in with whatever, James Orthwein owning the team, like, they were dog shit. They were nothing. They had no history. They were one of the worst teams in football. They played in a rundown stadium in the middle of nowhere. And here was, a guy who a few years ago was the best coach in the NFL. Picking it up and saying, yeah, I'll coach the Patriots. Excuse me? You're going to coach the Patriots? He makes the bold decision, which not a lot of people agreed with at the time, of picking Drew Bledsoe, number 1 overall, instead of Rick Mirer out of Notre Dame, because Rick Mirer ran a pro-style offense at Notre Dame. And he picked Drew Bledsoe, and instantly, the Patriots had credibility. Just by him signing on the dotted line, the Patriots were a brand new franchise. They still sucked for a little bit, but there was immediate intrigue, right? Bill Parcells is coaching this team. There was instantly a culture change in that locker room and in Foxborough, and really how the region viewed the Patriots, and therefore how the league viewed the Patriots. And he comes in here, and in his second year, they win a playoff game. In his fourth year, they are in the freaking Super Bowl. People forget that one because they lost, but they were in the Super Bowl in 96. That is Bill Parcells. Now, the way it ended, not great. Not great, right? You never want your coach the week of the Super Bowl having phone interviews with a divisional rival to go be their head coach. And when Parcells leaves the Patriots to go coach the Jets, there is kind of that air of, that's just what we are. It's the time in history where the Patriots felt like the Jets. What the Jets have felt like the 30 years since, right? Of, you've got to be kidding me. We finally get some credibility. We get this guy, brings us to the Super Bowl. We're so damn close. And then he leaves at our greatest hour to go coach the Jets, to coach our rivals, who also sucked at the time. You've got to be kidding me. And there was all kinds of beef with Bob Kraft and Bill Parcells. The famous line, if they want you to cook the dinner, they ought to let you shop for a few of the groceries. And honestly, that beef, this is how it all connects to the dynasty, by the way. This beef leads to the change in the Belichick era, right? In fact, Belichick was a hot candidate for the Patriots because he was a Parcells guy, and he came in as basically a volunteer secondaries coach in 96. And all those team leaders in the backfield, defensive backfield, Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, loved him. Otis Smith, they loved him. And so they were the ones telling Kraft, this is the guy you got to get. This is the next closest thing to Parcells. This is the guy you got to get. And that's why they get him, A. And B, he then runs the franchise within about a year of him taking over as head coach because Bob Kraft did not let Bill Parcells shop for the groceries. And he wasn't going to make that mistake again. So every modicum of success that the Patriots have somehow links back to Bill Parcells taking a huge stab in the dark in 92, 93 to come and coach this team and bring the instant legitimacy. And making the right calls in the draft. Okay, Terry Glenn, maybe a bit of a miss. But Drew Bledsoe, Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy, the undersized defensive end from Arizona that he turned into a linebacker, Teddy Bruschi, the unheralded receiver from Marshall who became one of your most important players for the next decade, Troy Brown. All of these guys, Hall of Famer, Ty Law, Patriots Hall of Famer, Drew Bledsoe, all-pro quarterback, picks over Rick Mirer. The guy had a litany of these bold picks that worked absolutely perfectly. And they did a little video, the Patriots did. And Scott Zolak, who obviously played for Bill, was talking in it and talking about the instant legitimacy. And he said the greatest thing about Parcells is 53 guys on the roster, and it's changing all the time. It's changing every year. It's changing every week. And he knew how to push every single one of their buttons. That's why he is one of the 5 or 10 greatest coaches in the history of the NFL. And the Jets thing didn't go all that great. I mean, he did go to an AFC championship game with them, but he absolutely 1000% deserves to be in the Patriots Hall of Fame, and he deserved to be in the Patriots Hall of Fame years ago. So it's about time that Bob Kraft swallowed his pride and said, you know what? I wouldn't be looking at the second most valuable franchise in the NFL if it wasn't for Bill Parcells. It all links back to Parcells. Belichick becomes the head coach because he was assistant under Parcells and the D-backs loved him. Brady becomes the quarterback because Belichick really liked him. And because Brady's the quarterback, they start winning Super Bowls. Because of the success of Parcells, they have a new stadium. And because of the Super Bowls, they become the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. It all comes back to the big tuna. It is going to be an interesting ceremony, I'll say that, when Kraft has to introduce him and give him, the bust and the blazer or whatever it is. I don't think Parcells is too warm to the Patriots organization or to Bob Kraft still, but he's the architect of that. Like, he planted the seeds of what became the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. So congrats to Bill Parcells, and a small congratulations to Bob Kraft for swallowing his pride and ending this beef, because it took way too damn long. And he's done that a couple of times. He had plenty of beef with Mike Vrabel, by the way. Or at least Vrabel did with the Patriots organization. And he put him in the Hall of Fame, and now he's the head coach. So maybe, who knows, Bill Parcells come back, head coach, Patriots? Okay, probably not that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How long overdue was this? Are you happy to see Bill Parcells going into the Patriots Hall of Fame? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the other videos that we have going on the channel, because it's all Boston sports talk every weekday, high noon Eastern time, live here on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. For everyone involved today, thank you, and we will see you tomorrow on a little ditty we like to call The Camp Show.